Ming, thanks for inviting me. Asked me to give a speech on how I've integrated Druid open source into a lot of our clients. What I'll do is I'll start off by telling you a little bit about who I am, what I do, what our company does, and how Asterisk became part of our environment. I started off about 15 years ago with the U.S. Postal Service doing networking. Basically, I started with Bay Networks and everything, and that's kind of where my mainstay has always been, was the networking. So I'm really a computer guy. I'm a network geek. I know we were talking about the implied embedded appliance here. Personally, I'm not too big on appliances because they limit you, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I'll go over some of the IPX solutions that we've ran across and how we started to inject Asterisk into small businesses. And for a lot of them, it's their first open source application that they're using. Then I'll try to touch a little bit on Druid, the open source edition, Asterisk, the way we get it in there, get it out, get it going, and versus COTS versus commercial appliances such as the Pika box here. And I'll try to touch a little bit on the phones that everybody hates. Like I said, I started emergency network services back in 2006. Basically to address a growing segment of our client base that was wanting to get away from Microsoft-centric solutions, wanting to get away from proprietary software and to be able to take their data from one place to another without being locked in on specific vendors. And that's basically where we started seeing a niche market for the small, medium-sized group. And when I say small, medium-sized group, I'm talking under 50 users, typically under 25 users. So this is really a small niche market. Linux integration, what we mainly do. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll go into an environment, they'll have Microsoft servers, they don't have an IT staff, they don't have anybody there to manage anything, they don't know what's going on. And really it's, we have a problem, can you fix it? A lot of times they'll need server upgrades and all this stuff, and you all know the prices associated with this stuff, so they're interested in cost-saving alternatives. A lot of those alternatives are, what about Exchange, what about Mail, and this and that, because they've ran a Windows server with Exchange server, and they don't use Exchange's features. You know, somebody told me I needed Exchange to have in-house mail. Well, we all know that's not the truth. So we'll go in there and we'll put mail servers in place and everything and stuff like that. A lot of what we do is wide area wireless networking, point-to-point, radio wavelength radios coming from our central locations out of Boca, broadcasting. If anybody knows what, in Florida area, Delray Beach to Boca, it's about a 20-mile radius and everything. We do point-to-point radio link. We cover pretty much the whole area. Based off of that, we built that from scratch, ground up and everything, and then we started offering IT solutions for ITSP and voice over IP services. The way we got into that was a partner of mine had a defunct pager company. He owned 20,000 phone numbers, the whole 954, 904 exchange and the whole 566, 561, 888 exchange. Well, with a pager company out of business and 20,000 phone numbers to his name, that's a big asset. And he was looking for something to do with these numbers. We did a little bit of research and found out that, well, we could do a little creative work here and take Asterisk and make it a viable platform. What we did was took the Asterisk servers and we set up a small ITSP. 20,000 numbers, that's really not that small actually, 2 full exchanges. After we put that into place, we started offering our clients free voice over IP services. And that started working out really well. We'd give them an IP phone or ATA devices and let them use existing phones and everything and started hosting services for them. Really quickly, we found that all these clients wanted their own IP PBX solutions. Most of these people didn't have anything Linux in their environments, didn't have anything open source, but they found that the phones, hey, I pick it up, not much different than a cell phone. So they started to like it. So we decided to start putting in Asterisk-based servers on location. Anybody set up Asterisk from scratch? It's not a fun chore at all. Clients always want some type of GUI, you know, I'm a geek. We like command line stuff, but the client really wants a GUI. They want something they go in there and just look pretty for them for the most part. We looked at lots of different alternatives. Asterisk at home, TrixBox. Everybody knows TrixBox. How many people don't like TrixBox? I don't like TrixBox. And everything that's out there really is based off of TrixBox, which really sucks. FreePBX, I should say, is based off of. The FreePBX, the Elastic server, not very flexible. You want to make a change in their application, you got to go in there, forget the GUI, it doesn't let you do any more customizations to it. Overwrites what you do. The SwitchBox, very limited. SwitchBox by Druid, very limited as what you can do for a small user and everything in there. The licenses on it kind of puts it out of the category for a lot of the small installations that we do. And again, PBX in a flash, and AST Linux, very nice, very small. AST Linux designed to be a embedded OS, run off a little compact flash card. Very good, but again, no GUI, command line driven, end user can't do anything. But it is nice because it doesn't take up a lot of resources. Based on that, doing a little bit of research, we came across the Druid software. Very clean interface, very intuitive interface. Really nice feature of it is that it allows an individual user, and what I mean by user is extension 101, 104, allows them to log into the same phone system through the same applet and manage some of their own configuration settings, their dial-in settings, their call routing and stuff like that, checking their voicemail right there online and everything. Everybody here has used the Druid, I'm sure, so everybody's pretty much aware of that. But that became a very big, oh, I like this type feature for our clients. It gave them something that they could use, feel comfortable with, and manage, and not have to sweat and worry about, what about a config file? I need to change my voicemail files, or I need to send my call to my cell phone now, or this and that. And they don't have to call us up to find out how to do that, or to find out what it is that is required. They can go right in there and do it themselves. The parser engine is really, really, really important for us. It allows us to go ahead and make customizations to the dial plan and still be able to go back into the GUI, make a change with the GUI, and not have it overwrite our customized configs. That alone was the main reason we started using the Druid software. It is unparalleled. There's nothing else I've seen out there that even remotely comes close to being able to do that. And that is a very key asset for us. IP PBX solutions, proprietary and commercials. Avaya, Nortel, Panasonic. I go into a lot of installations. They already have existing legacy style telephony devices. Some of the offices that I go into are having convergent devices like the Panasonic units where they have voice over IP capabilities, but they're still using very proprietary phones, very proprietary hardware setups, very expensive installations for 7 or 8 phones. It's not really a practical approach for a small business to go that route. The only real advantage we've ever found in it is it allows a lot of times for analog devices, legacy devices, to still function within their units. And we see more and more in the small market that people are willing to get rid of that as long as they have fax support. They can get faxes. They don't care about their phones being IP. Faxing still, as we all know, is an issue with voice over IP, and hopefully someday soon we'll get some of those worked out. The other main thing about proprietary software and hardware is its limited expandability. Even a box like this, they're wonderful. What happens when we're full up of all our ports, we want to add more? Well, now we have to add another box. Maybe they have an expansion module that, again, is proprietary to the units. If you need something on the fly, it's very difficult. You have to go back to the vendor to get that. You can't just go get stuff off the shelf with it. Because we're a very small operation as far as our client base is concerned, 25 users for most of our clients, having the ability to be able to go down to the store and pick up the part that we need or pull it off of one of our shelves is very important to us. She's looking at me.